Okay, Chapter 16, Alternative Evaluation and Selection. So you're at the point now you have to make your evaluation. Marketers and scientists and engineers and people who create products oftentimes believe that customers are going to make rational choices when in fact they're just going to pick something that works. They're not that picky about getting the best thing. They also assume that they're going to spend the time to go find the best thing, but really a lot of people don't have the time to find the best thing. And then some people think, well, once they've found the best thing, my product, they'll stick with it. But that's not the case because new brands come out and other things change the situation. Types of consumer choice processes. This kind of, goes from feelings on through. So consumatory motives underlie behaviors that are intrinsically rewarding to the individual. So these are basically things that are going to make you happy. Instrumental motives might be things that achieve another goal. So they want to make products and services that will provide the appropriate responses. They need to help people understand how using this product is going to make them have this great feeling. The second scenario is attitude-based. So that means you kind of use your general attitudes, what you already know about things. Attribute-based means you have to go through and figure out product by product comparisons and really figure out which one. So this is kind of how you feel, what you know, and really getting down to the details. Evaluative criteria. So you have different dimensions, features, benefits. You're trying to solve their problem. So they come over here and say evaluative criteria are associated with desired benefits. So you basically want to market your benefits. Always talk about the sizzle, not the steak. Talk about the benefits. It matters what consumers care about also, not what you care about, which is why so much research is done. So when they go through and they're trying to figure out what matters, people who care about style are obviously going to buy cars more frequently, and you can look and see what matters to people and target your markets that way. Determining which criteria they use. The most direct way is just to point blank ask them, like in the spaghetti sauce video, Malcolm Gladwell, where they just put people in focus groups and they have them test the products and they measure their responses and they actually ask people, how do you like these products? How do these things work for you? In the indirect measurements, you say, what kinds of things do you think other people care about in products? And then other things are a little more sophisticated and they use computers to basically make another matrix and figure out, what matters most, so you can figure out where the product falls on the map. So if you look at this beer map, high price, high quality, low price, low quality, light, heavy. So you can see just about everything on this side is a light beer, light taste. They have light in their name. That helps keep them there. And obviously the high price group would be the major brand leaders that have the most advertising money for the most part. Different ways that people judge things. It kind of depends on how they're going to use things. And if people are going to use things in different ways, you can go through using your 4 Ps and change and adjust and extend your product line to accommodate all the different targets that are out there. That's a way to expand your 4 Ps in the product area. So why do people think one product's better than another product? All things being equal, price equals value. That's been the way it is for a long time. All things being equal, price equals value. So if you want to make it, here's the deal. It's if you have a high price product, you can always give them a deal, a discount, and an introductory offer, a volume discount, a loyalty card, things like that to lower the price, to make the high price come down, but it's very difficult to raise prices. So it's kind of nice to have a high price. That's kind of where you want to be in a marketplace. That indicates you're a brand leader. You have the highest quality. Even if you don't, you want to be a high price and you want to at least be as good as or better than anybody else in the marketplace. So the ability of people to tell the difference between products, sometimes they're so close together people can't tell. It has to be big enough for people to tell to really go out and invest advertising money in it. So again, they go again talking about, what indicates value. The price basically indicates value. The relative importance of different things. It depends on your usage situation. It depends on your competitive context, how many other options there are to solve your problem, and how the advertising is perceived. So you come in here and you can do different ways of figuring out how products are perceived. You can do a blind test. You just cover all the labels, put numbers on them. You have people try things. They have no idea what product it is. I've done that lots of times. They have no idea what it is. Then you have the same test and you have brand names and you see if people have the same outcomes and you see if what they associate. Sometimes when you can break through and do something different, like Hyundai did the first 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty, sometimes you can do things to break through so you totally change the perception so people in similar type products will favor you because you have a newer perception. Again, higher prices generally drive higher demand due to the quality that is inferred based on the price. So brand names have a strong surrogate for quality. You want to be the leader. The first one out is usually 20% ahead. You want to be the leader so you can make more money, and you have more money to spend on marketing so you can make more money. It's a virtuous, it's a virtuous cycle. Okay. You can also associate yourself with other good companies. You can associate yourself with things that matter to people, motives like Made in America or German engineering, things like that. It's very important to have critical points of difference in your product. If your product isn't different, you don't really have a whole lot. You really have to be different and better in some area. So Ogilvy was famous. He's an old advertising guy, and Ogilvy Mather. He was famous for universal or unique selling proposition, which is the one thing that makes you different that nobody else can say. And if they say it, it would only strengthen your position, not theirs. It would almost, your ideal situation is to fix it so your competitors would have to negate their own position and advantage in order to compete with you. So going the opposite direction is sometimes a real smart thing to do because it outfoxes the competitors. So how people make decisions. Okay, so the conjunctive decision rule. This means you really kind of have minimum standards. As long as it works, you can rule out certain things, but basically it works. It's got everything you need. You're not that specific about it. The disjunctive means you really want it to work really, really well. Elimination by aspects. That means that you want it to surpass, at least it's got to be the best in at least some category. And then you come over here to the lexicographic rule, and it has to be superior on the key attributes. So all these things basically mean that as long as one thing's good, you can overlook the other things. They don't make up for it, but you're not caring. You get over here into things that cost a little more money, or you're going a little bit up the ladder. The compensatory rule says you're adding everything up and doing some math on it and trying to figure out which one's really the best one overall. So here again, they have them all, and they show if you were analyzing computers, you come in here and you have all the different rules, you would have completely different outcomes depending on which rule. So it's whether it's meeting the minimum, it's a little bit better than that, it's the best in something, it's the best overall, and if you're going to, the more money and time you're going to spend on it, the better decision you're probably going to make. This is homework. I won't speak about this. Again, high involvement decisions, more complex rules are going to take more time. They're generally for higher priced products. So you want to kind of have a high price and convince people of the value and then give them a deal if you have the opportunity. Price or value. So here we are at the end of the chapter 16. Be sure and read these learning objectives. And there you go, into chapter 16.